Hey everybody, it's Charlie and Chris with Daily Motor, and today we've got a fun little comparo. It's been a while since we've done a comparison, and I wanted to get out with these two cars that we just so happen to have this week, the 2022 Toyota Supra and the 2022 Cadillac CT4-V Blackwing. Now this isn't going to be a comparison against the two cars per se. We know that this is a two-seater coupe, that's a four-door sedan, that one's a manual, this one's an automatic. There's clearly a lot of differences, but we want to go out and do our split camera setup and talk about what makes these two cars good and not good from a driver's car standpoint. Chris and I are both, even though we disagree on things like heritage editions and fonts, what we do agree on is that a car that is satisfying to drive is a good thing. And these two cars are just that. They are satisfying driver's cars, something we're seeing a lot less here in the year of our Lord 2022. Unfortunately, this is not the new manual Supra. Chris and I have yet to drive that, although I think you can go on the Topher's channel and find a review on one of those. But this 8-speed automatic transmission from ZF, or as Chris likes to say, ZF.
ZF is the proper way to say it.
Yeah, exactly. Is one of our favorite transmissions, so even though it is an automatic, we're quite okay with it. It makes this thing an absolute rocket, powered by the 3-liter inline 6 that we all know and love, the B58 powertrain. This thing is a slidey machine, and I appreciate it for that. And then this is a resurrection of the sports sedan. It really is a marketplace that is dying, but Cadillac is trying its darndest to keep it alive here in 2022. Manual transmission, rear wheel drive, properly fun, good car. Another turbocharged
V6.
6-cylinder motor, but this time in the shape of a V, not an inline.
Yeah.
I prefer inlines,
I know you
but
do.
I prefer manual transmissions.
Yes.
So if you could combine these cars into one,
Yeah,
it would be perfect.
That would be great. But either way, this thing still is a lot of fun. We actually had this out on track and it performed admirably. But Chris and I do both agree that it is fun on street as well. Yeah, there's a performance data recorder. I actually recorded my first track session.
Did you?
Yeah, so you should be able to take the SD card out and watch it and see my throttle inputs and everything.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'll have to remember to grab that before the car runs away. Yeah, so this thing's been a lot of fun as well. A little bit more money. This one,
Don't look at the back.
you know what? Hey, ugly is better than boring.
I know, you're right, you're right.
Yeah, two very striking cars in terms of their appearance. This one actually rocking Pilot Sport 4S's, while that one has Super Sport, so we'll talk a little bit about the character of those.
Why do GM cars always park with their reverse lights on?
I don't know.
Because I don't think I left this in reverse. No,
No, you did.
it's in neutral.
Yeah.
So why?
They do that.
Yes, but why?
Well, Mary Barrett's probably watching. Mary, if you can let us know in the
Yeah, Mary.
comments.
Why
why do GM
since
cars do that?
the early 2010s did all of your cars start parking with their reverse lights on?
You'll go to a grocery store and you'll think a car is about
You're
to
like,
back
oh
into
no,
you.
this cruise is about to back into me, then there's nobody in it.
Yeah, they're just parked.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
No,
Driver's
that's certainly a thing. So we do have breakout reviews on both of these cars, proper DM test reviews, test drives, whatever we call them these days. But let's hop in behind the wheel and kind of talk about what these two cars are like, both inside and on the road. We're gonna do this. We're gonna crank the heat all the way up for Chris. He'll really appreciate that.
We're supposed to be being nice about these cars. Why did you put my heated seat on full and turn the heat all the way up to 84 degrees? You want me to be cross in this car.
Just felt like the right thing to do, Chris.
Oh, I hit my head.
I like how you have a little, you have a profile photo for me and like a CarPlay. That's very cute.
Yes, do you like it?
I do. What mode have you been driving this car around in?
My mode, which is full comfort, everything except exhaust on full loud.
Okay. There's a soft limiter.
This is the most cramped interior out of any car on sale today.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Cramped? I should just say claustrophobic.
Yeah, it gives the Miata a run for its money.
Yeah. Okay, you go first because you're going to drive more quickly than I am.
The reason we're driving these cars in the order that we are is that Chris has spent the last 3 days in the Cadillac and I've spent the last 3 days in the Supra. So even though we're going to drive both cars, I wanted to kind of start with each other's a little bit more fresh impressions of each car, rather than trying to go to bat for the cars that we just had.
Your tires are very sticky, sir.
Yeah, the Super Sports are weird. They're almost like stickier in the parking lot, but then slipperier on the road. I think Pilot Sport 4S's are the way to go these days. The Cadillac just does not feel as nice inside as any car, really. I think the Hyundai Venue felt nicer inside than this does. But even compared to that Supra, compared to all the BMWs that we've driven recently, it's not bad. It just, the leather doesn't feel as nice. The shifter actually feels pretty good. Everything feels a little bit too Chevrolet in here.
Yeah, and besides this interior feeling like a pod and like feeling like I'm about to blast off into space, the actual materials in this interior are pretty top tier. You know, as far as Toyota goes, they've done a very, very nice job. Oh my God, I forgot how fast these are. Oh my gosh.
Even though the Cadillac is not as nice inside from a material standpoint, the layout is actually very nice and intuitive, and it really lends itself well to being a daily driver sort of car. The shifter's in a nice spot, you've got places for phones and things, and you have a center console, and it's actually a fairly comfortable seat and just a nice place to be. Good spots for elbows, good steering wheel position. You do have a power adjusted steering column, which is very important at this price point. A lot of good ergos.
I was gonna say the biggest difference between that car and this car is that you can actually use that car comfortably on a day-to-day basis, whereas I think I'd get quite exhausted if I had to daily drive a Supra.
I agree, and my head constantly hits the roof of the Supra, so that's not a good thing either. Another thing I'll point out is that I'm not egged on to drive this thing like an a-hole the way you are in the Supra, because I can tell where you are in my rearview mirror that you simply just want to do 150 miles per hour, and I don't feel that way in this car.
Oh God, we're gonna have to...
You can do it, Chris, I believe in you. Rev matching working excellently in the Cadillac.
How hot are these tires? Oh heavens.
We do love getting stuck behind General Motors products here at Daily Motor.
Oh, this car is hilarious. It's so fast. I forgot how fast these are. It's just, it's such like a smooth yet striking experience in this thing when you're going flat out.
The Supra is like driving a teenage boy. All it wants to do is be goofy.
Yes. I just feel like I'm playing Forza when I drive this car.
Well, and what I appreciate about Toyota / BMW, what they did with that car is you have the halfway traction control. And you have that in this car too, where you can kind of put it into I want to slide but I don't want to kill myself mode.
Who needs a dual clutch when you have a torque converter automatic that shifts as fast as this ZF 8HP in this thing? It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, it's so satisfying.
That being said, I have not driven the manual transmission Supra. I really would like to, and hopefully we are able to do that soon. But this automatic is fabulous.
I like that they went so unique with the design of the Supra. It looks so cool in the rearview mirror. That engine, and I know some of it's piped in, but everything's much louder in the Supra. This car's actually kind of quiet being in it compared to that.
Out in here, yeah. I'm just, it's like, it's you know what, it's not even the loudness for me, it's the pitch of this noise. It's so harsh on the ears. And if they would just not pipe it through the speakers, I think it would actually be quite pleasant.
Let's see if we can delay this on-ramp a little bit so that we can hit the on-ramp properly.
Okay.
Nice weight to the steering of the Cadillac. All the gears seem to be where they should be too. I feel like all the ratios are proper, and it's a very well calibrated driver's car. I do think going with this V6, it's a very good powertrain, but again, after being in the Supra, I feel like it's a little less exciting I liked it more before spending 3 days with the inline 6 and the Supra. I've been spoiled.
It's not as satisfying or as sharp of a powertrain, but I think the overall sensation that you get from some of the vibrations and the weight of the shifter and just the overall feel of that Cadillac, I feel more connected to that car than I do this Supra. The Supra's a lot easier. It feels a lot lighter. The materials in here feel more like solid in your hands. I don't know if that makes sense. I feel like the Cadillac still gives me more satisfaction from a driving standpoint.
That's a good point. Yeah, I think I would have more fun in the long term being in this Cadillac. Like, I'd rather own the Cadillac. If we were playing spend the night with Marry Kill with these two cars, I would rather spend the night with the Supra and marry the Cadillac, I think.
And then kill the Subaru Outback Wilderness.
Thank you. Yeah, one less of those, the better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment. I have enjoyed spending the week with the Cadillac. It's been one of those cars where I've walked out and I've been really excited to drive it where I want to go. And while daily driving it this week, it has performed so well in some sketchy situations, and it's so just dialed in, and I really, really properly love that car.
And having the rev matching with the manual transmission does allow you to kind of drive it sort of like an automatic, because all you need to do is just do a little left foot action and then slide it into the next gear and you're good to go. You feel like a superstar. Yeah. It's just a shame that you have to click the rev match button every time you get in it.
Yeah, that is kind of irritating.
Steering's a little heavy. Wheels also just a little large. I mean, I guess part of it is they want this to be a Cadillac at the end of the day. They don't want it to be a Chevy or a Pontiac or something. So it's going to have a little bit different character and a different priority. How do you feel about the push-button parking brake? I know we've talked about this before.
I actually kind of like it because it's in a convenient spot in that car. You just kind of and forget about it.
I like it too. Yeah, and you never know, like, do I need to pull it or push it, because you just only push it.
That's what I was just going to say, is sometimes with automatic parking brakes or button parking brakes, you forget if you should be pushing or pulling, and in that it's the same function. And I know that sounds silly, but it does really go a long way with ease, you know, getting in and out. We know that sometimes simple things like that can just irritate us so much that it ruins the whole car. So yeah, I don't mind that function at all. I'm getting out of my pod.
You do have to love getting attention in this car, because people do stare. I had someone taking a picture out of their window today.
Still, you know, really that excited about Supras?
Yeah, because a normie doesn't see and think of this car as often as we do, and I still think it looks great.
It looks so good in gray too. I don't know what this gray color is just...
It's like stealth mode.
It's beautiful, and with the red interior, really good spec.
With Supra on them, smart. All right, I'm gonna try to not hit my head as I get in here.
I'm gonna put this into sport traction. And are you in my mode right now?
I was in Chris's mode.
Are you still in Chris mode?
I was. I should be. I do appreciate the simplicity of the sport mode in this car, because you just press sport if you want to be sporty, and you press unsport if you want to be normal.
Yeah, so let's actually talk about that for a second, because that has one option for driving modes. Well, I guess technically two if you want to count having sport off. The drive mode situation in this Cadillac is maybe the most complex of any car on sale currently, because not only do you have different drive mode functions that you can customize, you also have different traction control modes, which are controlled from the steering wheel over here on the right-hand side. But then, if you thought that was it, no, you're wrong, because you also have a V mode, which is a quick access drive mode that you can press with your left hand on the steering wheel. So you can use the drive mode selector down by the shifter to switch your main drive mode and customize my mode. Use the right-hand side switch to choose what sort of traction control you want, and there are a ton of different options. Or if you just want to have everything at once, you press V mode on the left. I think I prefer the Toyota's either sport or nothing.
Yeah, and I was under the impression when I first got in the Cadillac that V mode was the most intense, but no, you actually have to start in normal and then use the one over on the right to shift into race mode, and that's the most intense. Or track mode or whatever.
Well, V mode is just a customizable mode, but you also have my mode though.
Right.
There's got to be like 100 different combinations that you can make in this car for drive modes, which is silly.
Yeah, that's what happens when Americans design a car. Is they give you every option that anyone ever suggests in the boardroom, and then you end up with too many.
They're taking suggestions from BMW. Ooh, yes.
Give me the honks.
All right, here we go.
I was gaining on you there. I think with the jump it would have been just fine. There's a little wet spot there.
Oh yeah. That was for me when I came through earlier.
Yeah, it's just so much easier to drive this car fast because you don't have to shift, so you just have to think and put your right foot down, and all of a sudden you're doing warp speed. Woo-hoo! Nice thread in there.
Thank you.
Two very fun cars in their own right. We're gonna need some B-roll to put over some sections of this video.
Yeah, we should grab some B-roll for sure.
Yeah, they did an excellent job with the interior design of this car. I know it is very cockpity and claustrophobic-y, but the materials feel great. The driving position feels almost like I'm playing in a video game. Feels very good.
Yeah, this may be my favorite shifter also. The one in this car and the one in the 5 Blackwing. Oh, that's polite.
Yeah.
I guess we've had our fun, and now the universe is like, we're gonna have everybody pull out in front of you and go 15 under the speed limit. I do really like the weight and the feel of the shifter in this car. It's quite confidence inspiring, and on track it feels very nice as well.
Yeah, they did a good blend between daily drivability and sporty drivability.
Yeah, you can totally bang gears in this thing.
Yep.
Also, the burbles in this car sound like thunder.
Yeah, they did a good job with the burbles too. Very classy.
It's just thunder. You let off. They aren't like super harsh pops and bangs, but like you said, classy thunder. That's gonna be my. Wait, who's doing the review? You should put for your thumbnail text for the 4 Blackwing, classy thunder.
The Cadillac was a very comfortable car for driving on the highway as well. It's a nice place to be.
Yes, it is.
The Supra is going to get much better fuel economy, and it's really not bad either. It's just a little loud in here. These Super Sports are a little noisy of a tire.
A lot of the times, the road noise isn't even the car's fault. It's the stupid Michigan road surfaces.
Yes, that is true.
We've been getting 11 mpg in this car since we set off 23 minutes ago.
Ah, the Supra doesn't give me that detailed of information, but I do know over the last 400 miles it's been getting 26 mpg.
Oh, yes. And I would believe that is with spirited driving, because I bet that car gets well over 30 mpg, you know, probably mid-30s on the highway.
Yeah, I think Daily Motor tested it on its patented highway fuel economy test video series, and it got something like that.
I love those tests. I love those guys. I always watch those videos.
Have you noticed that the gauge cluster is a bit phallic in the Supra?
Oh, we're not going right. I just gaslit the person behind me. Yes, it is a little bit phallic. Yeah, you're right.
An orange ring that comes out, and I think it's supposed to make like a racetrack look, but it just kind of looks like a penis head.
Yeah, well, you know, You win some, you lose some.
Is that winning or losing?
I don't know. That's up to you. Oh dear, Charlie. We've got a majorly low tire. Majorly low. 23 PSI in the Caddy.
Are you kidding me?
Not kidding.
Dude, what the heck?
That's not good.
Well, hopefully we can patch it.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's end this review not talking about the tire, and then we'll address the tire afterward.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, no, I like that even if that woman in the Equinox were to be trying to report us to the authorities, she'd be describing it as there are two cars. One of them is silver and the other one's white. One's got 4 doors, the other has 2. She'd have no idea what these actually are.
Yeah.
I'm just a businessman in his sports sedan. You wouldn't even have to say sports sedan. I'm just a businessman in a Cadillac. That's it. Nothing else.
And I'm simply a teenager.
Now, well, that doesn't really help the case, does it?
No, but they would be looking for a Honda Civic.
That's true. They'd be looking for a day to remember Honda Accord that merged on the highway in front of you.
Yes, exactly. Well, either way, regardless of what flavor you go for, and despite these cars each having some drawbacks, sometimes I think those drawbacks actually add to the character of the car. I mean, we're going to remember that you can't drive the Supra with the windows down and you always hit your head when you get in and out of it. And we're going to remember that the Cadillac looks like a whale envelope in the rear and that all of its materials are the same that you'd get in a Chevy Trax. But we like both of the cars. We really do. I appreciate that Cadillac and Toyota are still making cars like this here in 2022 because a lot of manufacturers have simply given up. In fact, we just got news today that the Honda Accord is no longer going to be coming in the 2-liter turbo option for the next generation. And yes, that's not a sports car, but what it signifies is that Honda no longer cares about driving engagement and enthusiasm in a car that used to always be kind of a fun, engaging car in its top trim. The Accord V6 was a lot of fun. Then they switched it to a 2-liter turbo, and now you can't get that motor anymore. It's simply a hybrid. So cars that are purpose-built for the sake of driver enjoyment are becoming more few and far between, and we have to pay respect to any brand that still respects that here in 2022.
Yes, indeed. Couldn't agree more.
Well, thank you all so much for watching. We are going to go investigate why the tire is low on the Cadillac. And
it is hissing. Yeah.
Great. Well, we're going to get that over to a tire repair shop then. And we will see you all on the next one. If you do want to see the reviews on either of these cars, check the link in the description. I'll put them all down there. We are Chris and Charlie with Daily Motor, and as always, driver's car on.